Okay, I need to upload a video. It's been too long. Yeah, I'm just gonna do some game dev today, and figured I'd record it and share some things that are going on with the game and some new stuff that's happening. So if you saw the community post a couple weeks ago, the demo is available again. It is now available on itch. It is not available on RMN because RMN is indefinitely down. No idea when it's coming back up. It could be a year from now, it could be 2 years from now, it could be a month from now, it could be never. So, for the time being, Thrall is available on itch. Since the release, I've actually gotten quite a bit of feedback on some things that could use some balancing and fixing. I'm not actually going to work on those right now, though, because there's something else that I'm working on instead, which is I have made a change that I think is going to massively impact the quality of the game, and that is that I've changed the resolution. Now, just to show you what it looked like before, in case you're new, it's going to look a little bit glitchy right now just because the UI elements have been updated to reflect the new size. But this is essentially what the normal window size looked like. And I'm just going to load in. Okay, the character's off-center right now, but like this is essentially all you would be able to normally see of the game. You know, it's for a small monitor like mine. I'm on an old laptop. It's not terrible, but even I sometimes think that this is pretty small. I played the game on my brother's computer when he got a new computer, and holy smokes, is this a small window? It's like 1/8 the size of his monitor, and I felt like it could be better, but I always considered it a limitation of the engine. Because this is RPG Maker VX, it's not even VX Ace, which by default has a higher native resolution. In addition to that, it can't really be increased any higher. Well, I was wrong. Turns out, in the RGSS2 help manual, in the graphics module, there is a command that it's been there from the beginning, and I just never saw it. And it is, where is it? Loading. Graphics.resize screen width and height. You can change the size of the game screen up to 640 by 480. That's been there since RGSS2. Apparently, and I've never actually used this one before, but RPG Maker XP was originally 640 by 480, and they reduced it to 544 by 416 for VX. And then I think they increased it again for VX Ace, but yeah, this has been something that the engine's been capable of from the beginning. The only problem with it, though, is that the UI elements, like the menus, are 544 by 416. Now, I could have done 640 by 480, but there's a problem with that. The tiles that the player appears on, like the tiles in the game, are 32 pixels by 32 pixels. So that's 20 tiles wide by 15 tiles tall. Here's a problem with that. If I want to position the character in the center of the screen, that means that I have 9.5 tiles on either side of the player to the left and right, which means I'm rendering half a tile on each side. That's fine for larger maps. The problem is maps that are just the minimum size, like 20 by 15. So, for example, maps like this one here. because there's no scrolling to the left and the right, and the player just moves around on the map, and the map itself does not move, if this was 20 by 15 instead of 19, that is off-center. And that drives someone like me, who's just a little OCD, batty. I can't stand that. So, instead of 20 by 15, I've made it 19 by 15. And I've set the resolution, the new resolution, to 608 by 480. Bigger is not always better. And so now this is the new window size. It starts when it first loads in as the smaller size, and then it immediately blows up to this size. And I've actually taken some time to update some of the UI elements. So I expanded the save screen a little bit. I added player portraits and levels alongside their sprites. And there's quite a few other little UI elements that I've updated, and I'll kind of run through those before I get to work on updating some more. And now this is how much you can actually see. There's quite a bit more visible on screen. This is especially noticeable in dungeons. You can just kind of spot, like, oh, there's a chest in that room a lot sooner. Essentially all it is there's just one more tile in every direction that's visible, like a full tile border. Because instead of 17 by 13, it's now 19 by 15. But yeah, the problem with updating the resolution is that I had to update all the UI elements. So I've updated the menu as well. I added the overdrive gauge and an extra spot on the bottom for displayable status ailments. Now you can actually display all the things you can possibly be inflicted with, I think up to 14 ailments at a time, which most of the time you're never going to exceed, like, 4. But certain characters like Damien has quite a few skills in a skill tree, and this is a good example, but I'll show you this. He's got things like Dodgy, scoring critical hit, grants 15% evasion for 5 turns. He's got a bunch of these little skills that are temporary, but they stack. I think he's got, like, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... those ones I don't think are ailments. 7, 8. At least 8, and I might be forgetting a few on this list here. So pair that with things that he can be afflicted with from enemies, another 4 statuses there. He could be afflicted by 12 things at once. In certain circumstances, but it would only show up to 6. Now it can show up to 7 wide and 2 rows, so it can display 14 status ailments. So things like that, yeah, I've updated the menu. But as you can see from the skill menu, this was the previous resolution, so I have to update all the window sizes, I have to update the UI elements to make sure they're properly spaced. But the nice thing about this is I have more room to work with as well. I have more screen real estate. Which has proven very useful in a number of situations. For example, the equip screen, which I did yesterday, is just a little bit more comfortable. Before it was a little bit squished, a little bit crunched up, and now I just have a little bit more room to space out certain things like the stats, to make sure that that's nicely spaced and it's not too squished next to the other elements. And it just allowed me to get a little bit more creative. I don't necessarily care for the amount of empty space that's available, but I may be able to do something with that later on. But I would rather have more space and too much than not enough. So, yeah, there's some improvements. Same thing with the item menu. I actually, with the extra added width, I was able to add an extra button prompt to show that you can actually favorite items. I don't have one that I can... I'll just kind of show you with these ones. So by pressing the C key, you can favorite or unfavorite an item, which basically makes it so that you can't salvage it by accident. So yeah, just the extra screen real estate has helped to add a few more things width-wise, but also length-wise, because now that I have the extra 2 tiles wide vertically, I've updated the settings menu and the controls menu, which is kind of neat, and I've added a couple more things. So I actually have now added a font changer so that I got some feedback that the font that I'm using, while stylish, is not always necessarily readable in certain circumstances, so I've added 2 more fonts. This one I'm not going to keep, because that's even less readable. But then I just added a simple Verdana, just to make it so that it's a readable, simple font, if somebody's having a little bit of trouble with the more stylized font. But then I also added a window size changer. Now this doesn't actually change the sprites or the graphics used, but it changes just the window size, and it stretches the screen to match. It also displays just a little prompt to say that you can use Alt-Enter for full screen. I tried doing that where you could just have that as an option in the window sizer, but it was breaking some things, because if you kind of fiddled with the arrow keys back and forth and kept adjusting things, it would break, and it was annoying. So I just said, screw it, I'm going to remove that from the option and just have a prompt to show that you can enter full screen from here. But the window resizer basically takes the same aspect ratio, which is unfortunately fixed, and increases the size. And you can increase it up to 1.5 times. Now, I may actually increase that. For my monitor, that's too big, because I can't even see the bottom. But for someone like my brother's monitor, which I do want to test this on, this might actually still be pretty small. I'm thinking maybe going up to ×2 size would be the way to go, but I also think that may even be too big, because ×2, 480 ×2 would be 960 vertical size, which that's big for a lot of monitors. But I mean, yeah, like, the picture quality does decrease a little bit. It does get a little bit blurry, but honestly, it's not terrible. Especially with the more artistic, like, parallax map style. Like, a little bit of blurriness isn't necessarily... It doesn't kill the game. The thing where it really struggles more is the fonts and the text. That being a little bit blurrier is not ideal. But I mean, you know what? For people that want to use it, it's there. I've had a lot of people say, like, man, why is your window size so small? Why can't I change it? Why can't I resize it? It's like, well, no, you can. It may not be pretty, it'll still be kind of ugly, but at least it's an option. If you want it, it's there. And then as well, in the controls, I actually added rebindable movement controls. Arrow keys cannot be rebound. That's the only thing. And the reason why is because if I rebound the arrow keys, this menu itself would break. But if you want WASD to move, I just realized I can't actually demonstrate this because yeah, I'm using WASD, but you can't tell because you can't see my hands. But you can use WASD to move, or the arrow keys, which I'm now using, and I again can't prove that because you can't. This isn't a good demonstration. But I will show you, you can still use WASD in menus as well to move the controls, but in situations like this, it sort of breaks, because if I use S to move down, it moves down and then assigns S, and that doesn't really work. And so if you could assign arrow keys, it would be the same kind of situation. So the arrow keys you can move without assigning them, whereas, yeah, I had to make it so that those could not be rebound. And if you clear all the configurations, it clears everything except for those arrow keys. But anyway, that's just some of the changes that have taken place lately. So what I'm going to be working on today is just updating some more of the UI elements. I'm going to save the skill tree for another day, because that's a lot of work. It's not just a matter of resizing the windows, it's a matter of relocating every single one of these icons. And it's... it's just tedious and boring, so I'm going to focus on a different thing. Instead, actually, I'm going to work on the debug menu. I don't actually care about the debug menu, because the only person that's going to see that is me. The thing that I'm going to work on today is the loot screen, and expanding this, and here's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is that I will expand the width, obviously, to make it fit the screen. I believe I've already updated this window. I just need to adjust the dimensions. But if you look in the item screen, that does have proper... oh, I re-equipped my equipment. But that... Let's see if I can... There we go. Yeah, so that's been... This description item card has been updated with the proper dimensions and the proper placement of the elements. But... So yeah, this I don't think I'll change anymore. These I'm going to expand the width. I think what I may do is I'm going to place these little button prompts that say change category, and I'm going to place them beside the actual label to show what category you're in. And then I'm going to replace this with a prompt to favorite and unfavorite loot, because that is something you can do in these menus, but you can't tell that if you don't get told that. Words. Words are good. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to do that. Expand the width of these, and then I think the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the height of these windows here so that you can display more loot on screen at a time. There's not a lot of situations where that'll happen, but one that I can think of right off the top of my head is the shops, which I can actually show you right now. The shops is the same system, it's just that you add costs for items, that's really all it is. But the shops can display up to 10 items at a time, but you have to scroll to see them all. And if you sell something, then that adds more items to the menu. So displaying more loot at a time in the shops would, I think, be beneficial. I don't think there's anything that really needs more expansion vertically. See, and I even have the favorite option here in the shop, but you can't change category because you're just buying weapons here. So, like, this is essentially what I wanted to display. Yeah, okay. We're gonna have fun with this. So, let's get to work on that. Let's go to the loot table first. I believe this is... No, this is not. No, I haven't fixed this yet. Okay, so this is actually everything I need right here. Let's open up our calculator. Not that I really need it, but let's just use it just for consistency. Alright, so 608 is our window width. Divide that by 2 is 304, obviously. So our loot windows are going to be 304 wide. And we have 64 more pixels to work with. I don't know why I was going to bring out a calculator for that. 200 plus 64 is 264. And I think that's honestly all we need to do for that. Let me just take a look here. Okay, the gold display. Rectangle width minus 4. Minus 4. Why minus 4? Huh. Oh, I know exactly why. Okay, it's because everything's indented 4 pixels, so I just want it to be consistent on the other side. Yeah, so this basically just takes up the width of the rectangle and then aligns it to the right, so I don't think I'll need to adjust the positioning of the gold element, like when it displays how much something costs. Okay, so that's all I need to do for the loot window. Now, I will need to move the control prompt window down by 64 pixels, as well as the stats window. So, window stats, that gets its dimensions from the script that you call it, which is right here. So, let's see, this is going to be 608 wide. I don't need to adjust the height, but I do need to adjust its position. So 256 plus 64 is 320, and that should be good. Okay, let's go back up here. And I don't think I need to do anything for positioning the elements because I changed all this already. Yes, because I had to go through this one when I was updating the item window. So that's all fine. The label window. These are the ones for Oh, hold on a sec. Yep, this is for the left side label. This is 304 wide. Do I need to update anything here? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay, because now this is 304. So 304 minus 32, because there's a 16 pixel margin on each side, is 272. I don't know why I needed a calculator for that. 272, there we go. So now that will center the loot, or the text on that label, and the label window here, same thing, 304 wide and 304x position. And this is where I need to change a few more things here. Okay, let's see, gold. Okay, so yes, this is the label that displays things like the backpack and the how much gold you have, whether you're in the weapon or the armor or the item shop. So this is basically saying if you're in the shop, display these things. If you're not in a shop, display these things. So if you're in the shop, the icons cannot be changed. And what do you know? I actually still have the code that I used for that originally. So we'll bring that up, put that there. I want to make sure that the positioning of these is accurate, though. So 304 minus 32 is 272. That's how much space I have to work with. So divide that by 2 is 136. So instead of 120, these are all going to be 136. And that's the positioning and size of those text elements. Oops, there we go. 136, 136, 136, there. And that should solve that issue right there. Okay, now. So the L I have basically right on the left side of that window. The R I need to put on the far right side. So 272 minus 24 is 248. That's where this one is going. It's all just plus 32. Why am I using a calculator? And now, this is what displays based on what category you're in. I don't know why I'm bothering to... Okay, well, we'll do it that way, I guess. 224, there we go. That's fixed. Okay, so the labels are fixed, the loot table windows are fixed. Window options, this is where it shows your button prompts. So this is 608 by 56, that's right, and 360 is its vertical position. That needs to be increased by 64, so 424. See, I don't need a calculator. What am I talking about? All right, so the sort rarity, change category. This is the one that I want to change here. And actually, the nice thing is I don't need to do much. All I need to do is, I'm not going to delete it, but I'm going to comment out that section. And it will display the favorite instead of the change category. Because change category will display in windows that you can do that. And this will be more consistent now. Okay, window inventory. Yep, this is, I think, the same as the window loot. So it is 304x and 304 width. Not 6, 304. There we go. And I don't think I need to change anything else for this, but I might. Hold on a sec. No, because the item, it uses an item rectangle to show... Oh, hold on. Stats window. No, I updated that. That's fine. Yeah, it uses an item rectangle to display all the text. Okay, that might have actually fixed everything. So let's just take a look. Oh, hold on a sec. one more thing. Stats window. Did I update? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Let me make sure. I think I did that already, but I want to make sure. So 480 minus 56 minus 104 is 320. Yeah, no, that should be good. Okay, let's test this out. This one's an easy fix. I don't think it's going to require too much work. So let's bring up our developer chests, our debug chests. And... okay, so the inventory window is not tall enough, but the labels at the top are the proper width, so is the item card, so are these. But the positioning of these elements is not right. Those are not centered. So I need to fix that. The favorite is centered. That looks pretty centered. It's just the compare is not. And yeah, now our button prompts to change category are at the top of the screen instead of in the window down here. It just keeps things kind of organized, I think, because in a menu where you cannot change category, those prompts won't appear, but these ones will stay the same. Okay, so I need to increase the vertical size of the inventory window, and I need to move the compare element to the far edge there. That's easy enough to do. Did I not just do that, though? No, I didn't. 264. There we go. Now for this here, configure a bit of a draw icon 488, which should be 608 minus 32 minus 24 is 552. And then for this, hold on a sec, 140. Is that what I think that is? 544 minus 32 divided by 3 is 170. 544 minus 32 minus 24. 4, divide that by 3. 146. Where did I get 140 from? I don't know why I'm using that particular width. I don't think it really matters. Yeah, okay, so 140. All I really need to do is increase the x position of this by 64. So 348, 408. Yeah, okay, let's give that a try. See how that looks now. Alright, once more, let's bring up our developer chests, turn on the debug mode, and better. There we go. Okay, so our inventory window is the right size now, vertically. Our elements are centered. There's quite a bit of empty space there. I don't think it makes sense to add the change category icon down here. And I'm also realizing it feels a little bit weird that this prompt has the icon to the left and then text. This prompt has the icon to the left and then text. This prompt has the text and then the icon to the right. That feels weird and inconsistent. But there's also that slight OCD part of me that likes symmetry. And if this element just wasn't here, I feel like that would look better. But because this element is here, now it feels inconsistent. I think that's why I liked the change category one, because I think I had like A change category S to show like, okay, you're scrolling left or you're scrolling right. But putting that up here I still feel makes more sense. Let me know in the comments if you think this should be reversed. I don't know. one side of my brain is saying, yep, you should fix that and make it consistent. The other side of my brain is saying, nope, you should leave it the way it is and have some symmetry between these two elements here. I don't know. Oh, while we're here, let's check our comparison window. Okay, that needs to be fixed too. But it would need to be fixed with... Yeah, no, that needs to be fixed for sure. But you know what? I'm pretty sure I already... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've already actually fixed this to an extent. Why is he off alignment from those text elements? He should be... Left side of him is aligned with the left side of those text elements. I think I've already fixed the dimensions of the elements within this window. I think I just need to change the dimensions of the window. So let's do that. That should be our comparison window. Let me just see where that is. Comparison, here we go. Status window, that's what I'm looking for. Equip stats. The X position is 304. The width is 304. The height is 264. 264. 304. Okay. Three oh four, 304, 264, 264, 304. Why do I have so much duplicate code here? This is an old system that I kind of wrote back at the start of this project that honestly, just in the last year and a half, I've learned so much more about how to write cleaner code that it's almost embarrassing looking at my code now. But I mean, hey, it works. That's one of the beauties of being a game dev. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you know why. Sometimes you don't know why. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you know why. Sometimes you don't know why. A little bit of pirate software for you there. That's weird. Oh, no, I see. Never mind. Okay, yeah, what am I looking for here? It's way down here. Here it is. Draw actor graphic. Huh. No, that makes sense. This one doesn't. Right. Wait, what? Yes? No? What the? That doesn't make sense. Oh, no, that makes perfect sense. Never mind. Okay, I'm going crazy. 152. Just add 16 pixels to that. And now let's take a look at how that looks. Let's take a look at how that looks. Open up our debug menu, go into the chest, and... Oh, what do you know? Legendary. That's not surprising, though. This chest is designed for that. There we go. Okay. Is it just me, or is the icon here not positioned correctly? Oh, no, because above that is the elements that would normally appear for a weapon. Do I have an element... Or, sorry, yeah, the accessories. Like anything that shows if it's got an additional trait, whether it, like it's first turn priority or something like that. And then all the elements appear right here. And yeah, players aligned properly to the left there. Is that... I'm wondering if this is a little bit too far to the right. Because what I'm thinking is the width of this extends to about here, and then there's a margin between the two elements, and then the width of this extends to about here, so that the width of these two elements are actually the same, but they won't squish up against each other. But with the added window width now, they shouldn't do that anyway. And I'm wondering if this should be aligned to the center of the window, just like this would be aligned to the far left of the window, although even this is aligned to the left of the window plus the margin. So I'm wondering if this should have a margin as well. I'm going to keep it for now, but I might want to adjust that. These are some of the things that my over-analytical brain tends to contemplate, like, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? Is that too far to the left? Is it too far to the right? Like, honestly, one of the things that drives me nuts is just disorganized UI elements, and so I like to put a little bit of extra attention to my own. At any rate, I think that is pretty good. Yeah. Honestly, if there's anything that I might adjust with this, because this is a comparison window, I actually have the luxury of changing this now because I have a little bit more screen real estate. I would want to make it more consistent with this item card because this is the same window. Have the accessory here, have the elements here, flavor text, and then in the space below, for a comparison window, move the character icon down here, as well as have their character portrait and their level to show whether or not they're even capable of equipping an item like this. Because this debug chest changed the character's level. But normally if something's too high of a level for you to equip, the level will be displayed in red. But it would be helpful to see just what level you are actually at when you find that item. And then I feel like things like this would not feel out of place. So yeah, since I actually have the vertical screen real estate now to do that, and I can rearrange the display on this window, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to have the accessory here, the elements here, flavor text here, and then icon, a character sprite down here, and I'm going to add their character face portrait and their level. Let's just do that. And we're in our window right here. Perfect. Let's just check here. No comparison data. Draw actor graphic. So this is now going to be 16. The flavor text. Where's the... It would be one space below. Sorry, I just need to think for a second here. So it would be... I basically want to move the character 1, 2, 3 more spaces down. So 7. There we go. And I'm going to, within here, draw actor face. Using the same actor. The positioning is going to be 32, let's make it 36, add about a 4 pixel margin between the two at the same vertical height. And then draw actor level. Same actor at the same position as the face. Ooh, I just realized this is a little bit off. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's not going to be plus 48, because that's specifically for actor graphic. I don't know why, but for the draw actor graphic method, it doesn't draw from the top left corner to the bottom right. It draws from the bottom middle up and to the left and right. It makes no sense, and it drives me nuts. Because nothing else in this game works like that. Nothing else in this engine works like that. And that is a default method that got written for this engine. I don't know why they did it that way. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Okay. I think I know why it makes sense. Because a developer can add a different sized sprite, and it will still be displayed from the feet up. I still hate it because it's so inconsistent. And since I'm the one writing a lot of the code for this game, I don't need it to do that. I can change it myself. I don't need the engine to adapt to my sprites. I can write code to fit my own sprites. I guess it makes sense, but that's still frustrating. Anyway, okay, so that means that this needs to be just window line height times 7. I don't need the plus 48. But that would appear... No, again, I want this to be consistent with the other elements that have this same display. And the face graphic that I'm using is only 16 pixels high. I want the bottom of that window to be aligned with the bottom of the character sprite. So basically 48 minus 16, 32? Yeah. Plus 32. There we go. But this one, there. That should work for that, but now I need to, let's see here. If compare is greater than 0, if item is equal to... Let me look for this. There's nowhere else that's being used. So where is the elements? Accessory, here we go. That displays at the same place every time. If compare is equal to 0. Oh, so if you're not comparing, then that's the dimensions it uses. And if you are comparing, that it uses these dimensions. So I should, I'm not going to delete it, just comment it out, should be able to just comment that out, and these are now the dimensions that it's going to use for that. Yes. And I need to do the same thing for weapons. Ooh. Drawn states. Here we go. Same thing here. Comment that out, and we should be good. Okay, let's test that. Once I get this full loot table arranged the way they want, I think I'm probably going to end this video. I just wanted to record and upload something that is lower than I thought that would be. Which maybe is okay. Actually, maybe I could set that character sprite thing at the bottom of the window. Just align it right with the bottom. Because, yeah, weapons that don't have a flavor text... Oh, no, that is actually at the right height. But, yeah, weapons that don't have a flavor text, that looks like it's got a lot of separation. How do I want to do this? I do like the look of that. Oh. That text is not aligned with the side of that window. I think I missed the 4 pixel margin on that. Okay, so I need to move the X position of that text over a little bit. That's fine. I can do that. But I think... Yeah, I think I'm going to set the vertical position for... And yeah, the elements are now going to appear on the right side just like it would on any other weapon. And flavor text appears at the bottom. That seems a bit too low. I think I can bump the flavor text up a bit. I think that got lowered specifically for this window. Let me take a look, actually. Yeah, the flavor text should be directly one line below the accessory and the elements. So, hey, Saitama. It's my favorite legendary weapon. So yeah, in that case, I'm going to bump the flavor text back up one line, and then I'm just going to align the sprite, portrait, and level directly with the bottom of the window. Gives it a little bit of separation to show that that's not part of the weapon. That's just the character that you're comparing, the character whose weapon, the character whose equipped weapon you're comparing. Right? Yeah, that's how words work. Okay, so let's bump the flavor text up one line, align this with the bottom of the window. Let's do that now. First off, flavor text. Yeah, if compares equal to 0, that's the... Okay, so I can get rid of these codes now, because I know that that's what I'm getting rid of. I don't need these anymore. Clean that up a bit. And if, for whatever reason, something breaks, I'm the guy who wrote the code. If I did it once, I can do it again. But it should be good. There we go. Okay, and now character stuff. First, weird. Okay. I don't know why that wasn't aligned properly. I can't think of any reason why that didn't work. I may have to double check those methods, but I'll do that another time. I'm not going to worry about it right now. In the meantime, instead of doing this whole window line height thing, because that's just to keep things in line for other elements, the height of this is not 224, it's 264. Because of the loot table, right? Let's make sure about that. Oh my gosh, it's way up at the top. Oh, hold on, past it. Or is it at the top? Was I staring at the thing the whole time and I just didn't? Where's my comparison window? There's, yeah, 264. Okay. See and equip. So, for these elements, 264 is the height of the window. It's still got a 32 pixel margin, so 232. For the actor graphic, I want that to be where it starts because it, again, draws up instead of down. Drives me nuts, but that's how it works. 232 minus 48 is 184. That's where the level is going to get drawn. Why did I... 184. A little bit of dyslexia there. Okay. And as for the face, it's 232 minus 16, so 216, obviously. There we go. Let's see how that looks now. So the flavor text should have moved up one line, and the sprite, face, and level should be aligned with the bottom of the window, sort of like this here. It should look like that. So let's again open up our debug menu, check the weapon. Oh, Gehenna. And there we go. Okay. I actually like that. I think that's just a little bit more organized. So yeah, these are the weapon stats for your equipped weapon, but this is the character whose weapon you're comparing, and that's their level to show that, oh, that's a level 70 weapon. You're a ways away from being able to equip that. And there's the flavor text for the Saria, whatever. It's a reference to Ocarina of Time. And yeah, that looks a lot cleaner. So we've got our level, our cell value, damage, dex, accuracy, crit, accessories, elements, flavor text, and the item name and icon. I like that. And there's a little bit of separation, a little bit of empty space. Space isn't a bad thing. Yeah. No, I like the look of that. I think that's good. Okay, so this is the new loot window UI. Just a little bit more space to work with, a little bit more room. Yeah, I like that. There's one more thing I do need to check, though, and that is where the gold displays for items that you're selling. So let's check the shop. Perfect, and it aligns right to the edge of the window. And the nice thing about this is that some of these weapons can get some pretty ridiculous long names. Like, I think one of the what's like the longest weapon name is, I think, Night Sword. And then there's prefixes that can get pretty long as well, like Winterized, I think, is one. That's not one of them. I don't... What's the... There's one weapon name in particular that if you get the right prefix with the right weapon, it ends up being too long for the window, and it squishes the text. So having that horizontal screen real estate actually helps, because now I can actually expand the size of this item card, or this item rectangle, to allow that name to actually fit on that line, and it won't overlap with the gold text now. So I like this, actually. This looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. And I like that you can actually see all the items that are available in the shop at once. Even if you can't see the full item, you can at least see what that last item is, just from at a glance. Like, oh, it's a knife. No, I like this. This looks pretty clean. Let's just buy something, and yeah, okay, there we go. Same thing, gold appears on the far right side of the window. Our comparison window. Why does that... Oh no, it's the same. I just, yeah, I'm a little bit sleepy, I guess. No, I like it. Okay. Alright, well, we've got ourselves a new shop and loot screen UI. I like it. I think that's some good progress today. I'm going to do more than this, but I'm not going to do it on recording, because otherwise this is going to be like 12 hours long. I'm going to be doing this all day. But yeah, I like the new screen size. I think it displays more detail without being overwhelming. I think that it just makes things appear a bit more expansive, and it doesn't feel squished. The old window size is just too small. It really is. I don't know why VX decided to go with 544 by 416. That's not a big enough window. So 608 by 480 is a lot better, and being able to just increase the window size, even if it affects picture quality, is kind of nice too. It does mean more work for me. The battle system's a whole other thing that I'm going to have to do as well, because I need to rearrange everything there, but that's going to probably take an entire day on its own. At any rate, that's it for this video. I just wanted to get some work done on my game, showcase some of the changes that are coming out here. I'm hoping to have all this done by the end of the week, so next week Sunday, hopefully. It may take 2 weeks, I don't know. At which point I'm going to release an updated demo with all these changes. And there may be somebody streaming this game soon. That may be in the works. And if there is, I will post a link to that live stream. It's kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to it, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, that's it for the video. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.